This is Christiaan Titus with Nash Uproar, and I'm here to give you a preview as well as make some predictions for the upcoming Champions League quarterfinals coming up in mid-April. To start out, I'm just going to go through a draw and tell you what dates that those are going to take place in April. So first up is Manchester City are taking on Borussia Dortmund. The first leg is going to take place at the Etihad on April 6th and the second leg on April 14th. Real Madrid drew Liverpool. That first leg is going to take place April 6th at Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium as the Bernabeu is still undergoing renovations. And the second leg will take place April 14th. Bayern Munich drew PSG. The first leg will take place April 7th, and the 13th will be the second leg. Porto are coming up against Chelsea. The first leg will take place in Porto and will be on the 7th, with the second leg at Stamford Bridge on the 13th. To start out with the first matchup, you have City versus Borussia Dortmund. And for City, they've been flying in the league. They recently made it to the FA Cup semi-finals, beating Everton 2-0 with goals from Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan, who is their top scorer with 12 goals this season. Other players who contributed a lot, Sterling and Mahrez each have 9 in the league, and Jesus has 7. They've also gotten 6 from Phil Foden, who's one of the best youngsters in the league, maybe in the world as well. And they're 14 points clear at the top of the league above City rivals Manchester United. Surprisingly, there's no major injury concerns for the citizens, as they've struggled with injuries in recent years, but they should have all their most important players fit. For Borussia Dortmund, it's a completely different story. It's been a bit of a disaster in the league, as they're set 5th, 18 points back of Bayern Munich, behind the likes of Red Bull Leipzig, Wolfsburg, and Frankfurt. The bright spot for them is Erling Haaland. He's the very talented youngster who has 20 goals in the league and scored 4 times to help them beat Sevilla 5-4 in the round of 16. Their injuries include Jadon Sancho, who has a thigh injury, Marco Reus, and Axel Witsel, who could all be back before the quarterfinals take place in mid-April, but we'll have to wait and see. I think City is going to win this one 4-1. Moving on to Madrid versus Liverpool, a rematch of the 17-18 final, and perhaps a chance for Mohamed Salah to get revenge on Sergio Ramos and Real Madrid. Real Madrid, they haven't looked sensational in the league this year. They're 3rd points, 6 points off Madrid rivals Atletico. Benzema scored a brace in their win against Celta Vigo and is their top scorer with 17 goals. Sergio Ramos missed that game with physical discomfort, and it is unknown when he might return, though it doesn't seem too serious. Daniel Carvajal may return in mid-March from injury, and Hazard was injured again in their 2-1 win against Elche in the league. Liverpool are a team that has struggled with injuries majorly as well, mostly to their center backs. Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip will all not return until after the end of the season. They started their win against RB Leipzig with new signing Kabak and youngster Nate Phillips in center back, and they looked pretty good. Henderson is also injured, and Firmino and Origi are injured as well. In the league, they haven't been doing too well either, as they're 5 points off top 4 and definitely out of the title race by now. So it's been a pretty poor title defense for the Reds. Mohamed Salah is top scorer of the Premier League with 17 goals, joint top scorer with Harry Kane. So they will have a lot of firepower in attack. I think it'll be a high-scoring tie, but I think Madrid is going to take it 5-3. Moving on to Bayern versus PSG, as a champions take on the runner-up from last season. They both look very good in their league. Bayern Munich is 4 points clear above RB Leipzig and recently won 4-0 over Stuttgart despite Alphonso Davies being sent off early. Lewandowski scored a hat-trick. He now has 35 goals in 25 games in the league, as he continues to be an incredible record. Their injury concerns include Tolisso and Douglas Costa. Although they may return before the tie, they certainly have plenty of other options in Sané and Serge Gnabry. Things were pretty straightforward for them in the round of 16 as they beat 6-2. They beat Lazio 6-2. Thomas Müller also has 14 assists in the league. For PSG, good news for them is Neymar returned in their 4-2 win over Lyon as they went top of the league above Lille on goal difference. Mbappe is their top scorer in the league with 20 goals, and their only major injury concern is Mauro Icardi, who may return early April, but they will have Moise Kean and Kylian Mbappe available for them, so they will have plenty in attack. I think PSG could win this one and get revenge for their final loss last season and win 3-2. Move on to the semifinals. As for Porto versus Chelsea, it may look like Chelsea got the easy draw, but after their incredible win against Juventus, it's hard to underestimate Porto. Their top scorer is Sergio Oliveira in the league with 11 goals. He, of course, scored twice against Juventus to help them advance on away goals, 4-4 on aggregate. Mehdi Taremi is not far behind him with 9 goals in the league, so they have plenty in attack. Pepe, the 38-year-old, who of course has won the Champions League before with Madrid, is leading their defense, which should be a tough test for Chelsea. As for Chelsea, their center back is injured, Thiago Silva, which means they may have to rely on Andreas Christensen, Rudiger, or Kurt Zouma. Thomas Tuchel has had a very good start to life. He's been at Chelsea. He's been getting the best out of the likes of Hakim Ziyech, who scored against Sheffield United in their 2-0 win in the FA Cup quarterfinal the other day. And Timo Werner has looked good, although he hasn't scored recently. He got an assist against Atletico Madrid and started their last few games. Surprisingly, Tammy Abraham is their top scorer in the league with 6 goals. He's injured with an ankle injury, and he may be back before the quarterfinals, although we'll have to see. Giroud, of course, scored that incredible bicycle kick in the first leg against Atletico, so we'll see if him or Timo Werner will get the start. Either way, I think Chelsea will just about take this one 3-2. With those predictions, that would mean PSG would take on Man City in the semifinals, and Chelsea would take on Real Madrid. That's it for my previews and prediction for the upcoming Champions League quarterfinals in April. This has been Christiaan Titus with Nash Uproar.